The life of Cristiano Ronaldo today looks like a dream: luxury cars, massive mansions, private jets, global fame, and millions of fans across the world. But this success story didn't start with luxury, it started with struggle, because Ronaldo was not born into wealth or comfort. In fact, his childhood in Madeira, Portugal, was simple and often difficult, where he shared small spaces, faced financial limitations, and had to leave his family early to chase his football dream at Sporting CP. And, at that time, nobody could imagine that this young boy would one day become one of the richest and most famous athletes in the world. But what changed everything was his mindset, because from a very young age, Ronaldo believed that comfort was not the goal, greatness was, and that belief pushed him to leave home, move to England, and join Manchester United, where his journey toward global recognition truly began. And as he improved, success started following him, trophies came, awards came, and with them came wealth, sponsorships, and worldwide fame. But what makes Ronaldo different from many athletes is that money never seemed to slow down his ambition, because even after becoming rich, he continued training with the same intensity he had as a poor teenager trying to prove himself. And that mentality is one of the biggest reasons why his success kept growing year after year. Because while many players become satisfied after reaching the top, Ronaldo kept acting like someone still fighting to survive, and that hunger pushed him beyond normal football standards, especially during his years at Real Madrid, where he transformed from a superstar into a global icon, breaking records almost every season and turning football success into a worldwide business empire. Because Ronaldo understood something very important: football careers do not last forever. So while dominating on the pitch, he also built his brand away from football, investing in hotels, fashion, fitness, and partnerships with some of the biggest companies in the world. And slowly, Cristiano Ronaldo stopped being just an athlete and became a global brand recognized in almost every country. And this is why his lifestyle today reflects more than football success alone, because it represents years of discipline, sacrifice, and smart decisions made under enormous pressure. And despite the luxury surrounding him now, Ronaldo often speaks about his difficult beginnings, because those struggles shaped his mentality and created the obsession that fans still see today. Whether it is strict diets, intense recovery routines, or non-stop training sessions, even at an age where most footballers begin slowing down, and that discipline is visible in every part of his life, because Ronaldo treats success like something temporary that must constantly be protected. And maybe that mindset comes from remembering how hard life once was before fame arrived. Because when someone grows up without luxury, they often value success differently, and Ronaldo's story proves that perfectly, especially when people look at how carefully he manages his body, his image, and his career decisions. Because nothing about his rise happened by accident. Every stage required sacrifices that most people never see, from missing family moments to living under intense media pressure for nearly 2 decades, and despite criticism, rivalries, and expectations becoming bigger every year, Ronaldo continued evolving, adapting his game as his body changed with age, which is one of the hardest things for elite athletes to do, because staying at the top is far more difficult than reaching it once. And even now, after winning almost everything possible in football, Ronaldo still carries the mentality of someone chasing more, which explains why his influence extends beyond sports, because younger athletes study his discipline, businesses study his branding, and millions of fans admire the idea that someone from humble beginnings could build a life that once seemed impossible. And perhaps that is why Ronaldo's story connects with people around the world, not simply because he became rich or famous, but because his journey represents transformation through obsession, sacrifice, and relentless belief. And although critics sometimes focus only on statistics, goals, or comparisons with other legends, the deeper story is about mentality, because Cristiano Ronaldo turned difficult beginnings into motivation instead of excuses, and that decision changed everything, allowing him to create not only one of the greatest football careers ever, but also one of the most powerful personal brands in sports history. And today, when fans see the luxury, the expensive lifestyle, and the global fame, they are really seeing the result of decades of discipline that started long before the cameras, sponsorships, and millions arrived. Because behind every mansion, trophy, and achievement is the same boy from Madeira who once dreamed of escaping poverty through football. And even after reaching heights that few athletes in history will ever touch, Ronaldo still behaves like someone who believes there is more to achieve. And that endless desire for improvement may be the real secret behind why his story continues inspiring millions across different generations around the world. Financial success, but Cristiano Ronaldo never allowed success to make him lazy. Instead, he used it as fuel to reach even higher levels, and when he moved to Real Madrid, his career reached a completely new dimension, because not only did he dominate football, but he also became a global brand, breaking records on and off the pitch, and with that came a lifestyle that fans around the world admire. Luxury cars like Bugattis and Lamborghinis, private jets for travel, multiple luxury homes in different countries, designer fashion, and a lifestyle that represents the highest level of modern sports success. But what makes Ronaldo's story different is that this luxury is not just about money, it is about discipline turning into reward, because every car, every house, every achievement is connected to years of hard work, sacrifice, and consistency. And even after reaching this level of success, Ronaldo continues to maintain the same mindset that built him, focusing on training, performance, and discipline rather than comfort. And that is why his success feels different from ordinary celebrity wealth, because it is built on results, not luck. And even today, while playing for Al Nassr FC, Ronaldo continues to expand his legacy, proving that success is not a destination, it is a continuous journey. And his life is a reminder that where you start does not decide where you finish, but your discipline, consistency, and mentality do, and that is the real reason why. Cristiano Ronaldo's lifestyle is not just luxury. It is the reward of a legendary mindset, because behind the expensive watches, the luxury vacations, and the glamorous social media posts is a man who spent decades building himself through pressure, criticism, and relentless dedication. And one of the biggest reasons Ronaldo became such a powerful global icon is because he never separated fame from responsibility. Instead, he treated every achievement as motivation to work even harder, which is rare in modern sports where many athletes lose focus after reaching wealth and recognition. But Ronaldo always seemed obsessed with improvement, whether it was scoring more goals, breaking more records, or maintaining his body at a level most players cannot achieve even in their younger years. And this obsession became especially visible during the later stages of his career, because while younger players relied purely on natural talent, Ronaldo relied on discipline, preparation, and experience, proving that mentality can sometimes become more powerful than physical gifts alone. And this is why fans admire him beyond football, because his story represents self-transformation on the highest level, where someone born into ordinary circumstances turned himself into one of the most recognizable athletes in history through consistency and sacrifice. And even though critics often debate his style, personality, or comparisons with other legends, very few people can deny the incredible work ethic that shaped his success, because year after year Ronaldo continued evolving while many of his rivals faded away. And that ability to survive at the top level for so long is one of the greatest achievements of his entire career, especially in modern football where pressure from media and fans becomes more intense every season. And yet Ronaldo embraced that pressure instead of avoiding it, because he always seemed motivated by expectations, almost as if criticism gave him extra energy to prove people wrong. And that mentality helped him succeed in different countries, different leagues, and different football cultures, from Portugal to England, Spain, Italy, and Saudi Arabia, which is something very few footballers in history have achieved successfully, because adapting to new environments while staying dominant requires more than talent, it requires discipline, confidence, and mental strength, and Ronaldo consistently showed all three throughout his journey, which explains why brands, businesses, and sponsors continue investing in him even as he grows older, because his image represents excellence, professionalism, and global influence. And in many ways, Ronaldo became bigger than football itself, turning into a symbol of ambition for millions of people who may never even watch the sport regularly, because they connect with the idea of someone refusing to accept limits placed on him by others. And that message becomes even more powerful when people remember how humble his beginnings truly were, because there was a time when Ronaldo was simply a young boy from Madeira chasing an impossible dream with nothing guaranteed. And now that same boy owns businesses, influences global culture, and inspires entire generations through his achievements. And perhaps the most impressive part of his success is that he never appears satisfied, because even after winning championships, Ballon d'Or awards, and worldwide fame, he still trains with intensity and speaks about improvement like someone still fighting for his first opportunity. And that mindset is probably the greatest luxury Ronaldo possesses, more valuable than any car, mansion, or private jet, because it is the mentality that created everything else. And without that discipline, none of the fame or wealth would exist today, which is why Ronaldo's story continues inspiring athletes, entrepreneurs, and fans across the world, because it proves that extraordinary success is not built in one season or one lucky moment. It is built through years of sacrifice, pain, consistency, and belief during moments when nobody is watching. And even if future generations break his records someday, the mentality behind his rise will remain one of the most respected parts of his legacy, because statistics alone do not create icons, mentality does, and Cristiano Ronaldo built his entire life around the idea that hard work can transform reality, and that belief carried him from a difficult childhood in Madeira to the top of world football, where his lifestyle now represents not only success, but the visible reward of decades spent chasing greatness with relentless determination and unmatched ambition.